Welcome to episode 6 of a Brother and a Sister podcast. We're very happy to have you here in this very unchronological, unplanned, unscripted, slightly edited podcast where my brother and I, and occasionally the disembodied voice of one of his partners, Avi, when she's around. And in this episode, we talk about drama sprinkled in with some family stuff and friendships and relationships and what came out of his church experience, especially. And it was a really chill conversation, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. And please let us know if you're following along on this disorganized saga and how it's making you feel. We're gonna talk about religious trauma.
Wow.
Trauma. I know why we're talking like that. Um, so we didn't go to church at all, except for Christmases and Easters, until I was like 8. So you probably don't really remember a time before church was a regular part of our lives, huh?
No, I don't remember a time when church wasn't in my life in some way.
I remember
I
like,
just like I think we were like 2 when I first started going to church,
mm,
which
and
would make sense because you're 6 years older.
I remember like one time mom being like, "My grandma's really sick. Pray for her, okay?" And I'm like, for the people who aren't watching this, just listening, there's like a meme where someone's like, "Huh?" Um, looking kind of
Yes,
to the side, like, "What?" This is
I
much
know
better to
exactly what you're
watch.
talking about.
Is it like Katy Perry or something? I didn't know what the heck that meant. What do you mean pray for somebody? What is praying? Um, then I remembered going to church because our grandpa, my mom's dad was visiting, and it was the whole famous story in our family of him saying, "Are we gonna go to church?" And my parents being like, "I guess." Go to my paternal father's church. And he just thought that that was a normal thing that we always went. And we just kept going.
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you remember? What are like your first memories about church?
my first memories have to do with being the way that I am and getting into fights with mom literally every Sunday morning about wearing dresses.
Mm.
And how it was a huge struggle between us and how I'd compromise and wear a dress, but I would take clothes with me and change in the bathroom after church.
So that you could play in the woods.
Yeah, up the in the woods up above the church around those
Those
rocks
those
stuff.
woods were epic. I want to go explore those woods now.
I know, right?
Man, that was the
Got
best.
I got a lot of cool pictures in my teen years during of the mountains
Cool. Yeah.
and the sunsets there because we were always there all the time, and I had so many lock-ins there and
But then we left that church. That was Crossroads. I was something like 14-ish. So you would have been something like 8-ish or something.
probably around there, 8 or 9,
Do you
maybe. I don't
remember do you
know. No,
remember the shock of like leaving this place that we were so used to being?
yeah, I do remember that. Then I remember like church shopping around for a while.
And then it was the place we landed was Trinity.
Well, back then it was Salt Rock.
Oh, no, Salt Rock was after I left for
No,
Covenant
Salt
Fire.
Rock was before you left. Salt Rock was the very first time we ever met them.
Right, Salt Rock
I do remember that.
when they were at the Solid Rock Cafe.
Yes.
Yes. I was like, "You're not pulling a mom, are you? Just only remembering things after I wasn't around."
No, this was when you were around, and you were
Yeah,
around when they moved into the building that is now a Wiccan shop.
yeah. It's not a comic book store anymore?
No, they moved. They actually grew so much that they had to get a bigger building,
Okay. Yeah,
which is great because yay for us nerds.
the Solid Rock Cafe was the Christian version of a Hard Rock Cafe because so original and quirky.
I always thought it had to do with salt of the earth.
I think that's part of it, but it was like salt of the earth and also co-opting an established cool brand.
Yeah, that's true. I like your story better.
So I
Your
remember
memories are
that.
better than mine.
I'd forgotten all about that place. Yeah, that was where I first saw Covenant Players too.
Yeah, and then they would and then for like the kids services and stuff, we'd have to go up a bit like a flight of stairs, and we were in this little tiny little room.
Mm-hmm. Anything of interest to not what's the word? Not just remember, reflect upon.
I don't know.
It
I
was a very
remember.
short time there, wasn't it? It was only like a year or less.
I think so because they moved into the bigger building that they were in.
Yeah.
I never went to the one when they moved to like that another city like
No.
altogether in Roy or wherever mom and dad went to see them and went there once in a while because there's new leadership or something. I don't know, but
Yeah. There was a bunch of drama there that's not our story, so.
yeah, I know that Rachel's son Jesse is now like the main preacher guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But then you guys were like the same age, right? So it's not that
No,
whoa.
I was older than him.
Oh,
I was like 2 or 3 years older than him, I think,
this is
or at
called
least
being
a
an old
year.
person that just remembers everyone born in the early 90s as being literal children.
It sounds like Abby. No, she wasn't born in the 90s.
No. Abby's a little older than me.
Yeah, she's like, can I tell you? Can I tell? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she started.
She's not too like stingy about her age. She's proud of her age. She's 4 years older than you,
Yeah.
almost exactly, because her
Yeah.
birthday's June 23rd. Her birthday's coming up.
Yep. So elder millennial.
Yeah.
And you're junior millennial.
Yes.
I'm what's called a xennial.
Yeah.
Like
Cusper.
I was born like at the tail end of Gen X and at the very beginning of millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit of both, all rolled into one.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Even
mom
a
and dad.
muzzle.
Yeah.
Muzzle.
But our
Muzzle.
parents are cuspers of boomer and Gen X, but are much more boomer mentality than Gen X mentality
Yeah.
my dad's parents were or his dad was so old. It's like I think it also has to do with how you're raised.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the-
what I said about last time about nature versus nurture. The
Yeah.
nurture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
I think the pastor of the of Solid Rock and then Trinity Life, I think they were pretty square Gen Xers, right?
Probably.
Yeah, they gave off Gen X vibes.
They were a little bit younger than our parents.
Mm,
So I think they would be considered Gen Xers, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. What do we remember about that place?
I remember the friendships that I made.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think I knew her a little bit, kind of before we were, or while we were going to Salt Rock, and we just got close. But it was weird, like we weren't really close very much. And then Amanda like begged her mom to let me come over, and then after that one sleepover, we were like best friends for life.
I remembered Amanda wrote a song and Audra found and left it on Audra's piano and then she wrote music to it and it was such a good song.
Yeah, I know Jesus is a hero.
Yeah, I was thinking about that just the other day.
I haven't thought about that in a while.
Yeah. Should I sing it for our listeners?
If you want to.
Okay. I know Jesus is a hero just by looking in the mirror. I know what he has created. A hero in me, a hero in me, he's a hero in me. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I'll have to ask Amanda if she remembers it. She'd
Yeah.
probably be like, "Oh,
We have to send this link to her.
oh, I will."
What do you remember being like? Do
Shout
you
out to Amanda. I love you.
shout out to Amanda?
Anna noodles till the end.
Yay. Um, do you remember by that point they weren't fighting so much about dresses. Like you were a preteen, it wasn't that big of a deal anymore.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I wore whatever the heck I wanted.
Yeah.
Even when I remember when we were going to the church on 17th Street, the one that with that one lady that you really liked went there. I think it's Chappelle's mom-in-law now,
Oh,
or
yeah.
it has been for like the last 20 years that they've been married. But I remember one time I wore a shirt that said that was your shirt, I think, and it was pink and it said Jesus is my homeboy on it. And Dad was so mad at me. And then Pastor Dean, that
Uh-huh.
great guy. Pastor Dean was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your shirt," and Dad was like, "Yeah, me too." And I was like, and then I looked at Dad with Pastor Dean right there, and I'm like, "You told me not to wear it." And then
Uh,
Dean was like,
Come see the hypocrisy inherent in the system.
Pastor
but
was
Dean
a
loved
really
my
cool
shirt, and he
guy.
made sure to tell me it every single time I wore it after that.
Aw. Yeah,
I miss his dad.
I really liked that shirt, and then I guess Dad guilted me out of keeping it or something.
Well, you kept it because I got it. I got it eventually.
Mm. Oh man.
I miss Pastor Dean's dad and mom. They were like the sweetest people in the world. Like after my back surgery, they drove all the way to Salt Lake to give me a care package and visit me in the hospital.
Aw,
They were like grandparents to me.
that's so cool. It's so good that there are a lot of good memories too. It's not just the hard stuff. There's it's the good stuff is worth remembering, darn it.
Ah, that's what I've been trying to do is reflect on the positive and because like I was reading about in my master your mind, control your emotions, learn to control your emotions book about like you know the different negative thinkings and like um well, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but one of them was like only remembering the bad things and then discounting the good things that happened, you know, and
Mm.
I don't know.
It's like with people who are trans who just want to not have the previous version of them not exist anymore. And it's like how much they're missing out on that
Yeah,
in just discarding all of that. Do you
yeah.
remember?
I'm learning to accept the girl that I had to be,
Mm, do you remember
and
like?
that's only with help with that. That's only with help from Abby.
But do you remember like really believing in everything or like really being invested in being a Christian and then that when that started to shift?
No, I've never felt really a pull towards it, you know, ever in my life. And I'd read like horror books and like paranormal books and stuff like that. I'm really interested in now, and that I'm really deep diving into. And but I've never felt that connection to Jesus or God. I don't like. I spent hours and hours and hours praying, and when I was a kid, I would see the demons and stuff, and I'd pray for hours and I'd pray all night. I probably prayed more than Dad did. But like, I always, only a few times did I actually feel like something spiritual was actually happening.
Hmm. What do you remember those circumstances? Like what happened?
Just, just saying good things, I guess, like seeing the angels fight the demons and stuff, and you know. But I don't know if that was just religious hallucinations now,
Hmm. So like
because
feeling like you were
a lot of those religious hallucinations are brought on by your upbringing.
yeah. So like feeling like you were actually being heard and actually being rescued.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Was there a point when you're like, I don't need to go to church anymore? I'm kind of done
When
with this.
when I was 19 and or I was 18, I pretty much moved in with Shirley and Chase and Crystal.
Mm.
And then mom and dad would like pick me up every Sunday and we'd go to church and then they'd drop me off back over there. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like so I thought the only time mom and dad actually wanted to spend time with me was at church. So I would I even though I was over 18, I was still going to church every Sunday.
Wow.
But then that made me meet the worst person in my entire life that she shall not be named.
Ooh.
Not Sierra, but the
Another
first girlfriend
person.
I ever had.
We'll call them Beelzebub.
That's fitting. She was playing a game earlier, but that was the main character.
But because that's a lot of work, we'll call her BB. Um,
Okay, that works.
So you met BB at church?
Yes, and then I got my heart smashed open, and then that just catapulted into all my other failed relationships,
So,
and each one got worse in ways, and sometimes it started out good, except for the one where I was with Jordan. Jordan and me had a good relationship until, but we just I don't even know why we ended really, but
well, you probably wanted different things out of life.
yeah, probably because she wanted kids and I didn't really want kids, and now she's happy with her son, and
Hmm.
I'm so happy for her. Like I talk and when I talk to her, I always tell her how awesome it is that she has a guy that loves her and that they're gonna get married soon and
Aw. But
have their own family.
but okay, and you were 19, so you were living as yourself. You were going by Wes. You were
To some people, yes,
Oh, not
and some,
everybody.
like my ex's parents didn't really know me, and they knew me as Wes, but they thought I was just a girl that
Mm.
wanted to be a boy or whatever.
You were just
But I was a
butch.
girl. Yeah, but I was a girl, and
So
that's
it
why they were okay with me being with her.
so you were at church and people were like thinking that were you like hiding what they would consider a lesbian relationship at church?
Not really.
Were you like out and proud and holding hands and
No, we kept it pretty much a secret from everybody
oh,
except
okay.
for our families. But I'm not sure how the church reacted to that.
Yeah, I'm like that's not something that had probably come up too terribly often.
No, probably not.
Was BB a Christian or was it just a place to go and be around other young people?
She did it just to get away from her parents,
Mm.
which is where all my relationships that started out at churches were because of.
So after that relationship crashed and burned, you were done going to church?
Pretty much. Yeah, that was pretty much when I stopped going.
I don't know. That would have killed it for me too. Just saying.
Yeah.
But when you came out to me, you were like, I know I'm not gonna do anything. Don't tell mom and dad. I know it's a sin or something. But I guess you were thinking that you were just speaking my language, not your language. Like you didn't actually think it was gonna be a sin to live as your true self, right?
Oh, I battled with that in my head for a long time.
So even if
If I should do it, if I should transition and live my life the way I want to, or the way I feel like I should, or the way I feel like I know other people think I should.
hmm how when you came out to the parents, did they try to tell you the whole religious angle of things, or was it basically
I
just
I
we can't
blocked
accept
that.
you?
I don't know. I blocked a lot of it out.
Mm.
Like I know when I told mom like a year before I told dad, because and then mom and then mom accepted it pretty much, and like um was calling me Wes when dad wasn't around. And then she got to the point where she was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't hide this from your dad anymore. You have to tell him, or I'm going to tell him, or I just can't keep hiding this big secret from him.
And
So, And then I told Dad.
And
And
that's
brimstone rain.
Yes,
what was that?
brimstone rain.
Oof. And that's what you've been, whatever he said when you first came out to him is basically blocked because it was too painful.
All I remember is him spitting in my face, screaming at me like this close to my face,
Wow.
saying that you'll never be my son.
He has actually used male pronouns in your name before, right?
I think so. Think so. I think I remember a couple times. I probably could look back at my messages and tell and see from messages between you and me and see it because I always tell you those big things.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna use gum anymore when I'm writing to mom. It's gum served its purpose, but it's not necessary anymore.
I've graduated from gum.
But it was a very, very important step in the
Yeah,
journey. Like,
for your kids
yeah, the fact that my almost 3-year-olds at the time came up with a name that was not feminine, that everybody
or
could use,
masculine or
or
anything. It was
masculine.
just a name.
It was
It was
just
just
a
a name.
just yeah, and that everybody could use it and not hurt you by
Yeah,
using it.
yeah.
Because that was the most painful thing last time we were there, 2018. And then on the time before that, like the time before that, you were still with Jordan, but not the last time we were there.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because the last time you were here, I was fighting with Sierra all the time.
Yeah, yeah. We even had
Cheating
the
on me.
police.
Yeah, the police were involved a couple times.
That was weird. Um, but I remember just how painfully uncomfortable and scary it was when you and Jordan would like be cuddly and I would just be like da, 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 look at me, nothing to see there. Let's not have any stress. Do, do, do.
It's weird is because mom and dad actually loved Jordan, and like dad was the one that invited her over to the Super Bowl party at Clyde's house.
Wow.
Yeah, mom and dad were really happy when I was with Jordan.
Wow.
Mom was up, and Jordan would just show up after school some days when I would be sleeping and stuff, and then mom would be like, "Jordan's here," and then she'd come in my room and we just play video games.
Aw. I remember that when that Christmas that you were with Jordan, mom even got her some Christmas presents.
Yep. Yeah, Jordan's always going to be a special person in my life.
Hmm.
A good friend.
I'm glad. Do you remember what about like okay, your spiritual evolution, like you had to like hide bringing evil books into the house, huh?
Oh yeah. And I've had to replace my books a couple times.
So when did you first start to explore spirituality in in that
Uh,
side of Christianity?
I think when I was about 19, actually, because I got my job at Winco. It was a okay place, but anyway,
No, it
um,
wasn't.
I'm not. They owe me money, and a lot of it.
Funny.
I think yeah, when I was 19, I got my first collection of witchcraft books.
So what
Yeah.
pulled you to that?
At first it was out of spite for dad,
Yeah.
and then I just got interested in it on my own, and I enjoyed it. And now I got lots of books on it.
Did you feel like a connection to something particular about it? Did you feel like because there's a lot of discourse of which by blood or which by choice or
I
whatever.
know. If you go back far enough, we probably do have witches in our ancestry.
If you go back far enough, everybody has witches in their
Yeah,
ancestry.
Exactly.
everybody started out pagan.
Yep.
Yeah. Ah, damn, almost had
Hell, 90% of Christian, holidays are pagan holidays that they repurposed.
Okay, I got a book. It is handy, so I don't have to take too long to find it. Where is it? It's right here. One moment. Buffering. Pagan Christianity. This is
Ew.
so fascinating. I haven't finished it. I'm like, start one, get bored. But basically, the the layout of a church building, like the chapel and the seating facing the speaker, and the design of the building to inspire all, like it's all from the pagan. Like it was just,
Including the altar at the front of
yeah,
it.
yeah. Like this book is about how it was never meant to be. Religion was never meant to be this thing where one person is standing in the front and the other people are sitting for an hour and then everybody goes. But it was always meant to be a small group of people, everybody getting the chance to talk and encourage each other and sing songs together, and how like the roots of everything have always been broken.
Wow.
Yeah. I need to go back and finish this one of these days. It's it is still from a very Christian point of view. It's exploring the roots of church practices. Um, it's like warning, most of what present day Christians do in church each Sunday is rooted not in the New Testament, but in pagan cultures and rituals developed long after the death of the apostles. But I kind of read them more like it's actually rooted in pagan culture. Like that's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Who says that pagan
Religion
culture's so bad anyway, man?
religion should be practiced in the home. It should not be practiced as a congregation because religion is a very personal thing.
Mm.
What
Like,
Makes sense.
you believe is what you believe. It's not what somebody else tells you should believe.
yeah.
Very wise, baby.
Well, I I was raised a Roman Catholic and growing up, I was taught about Christ and I was taught about God and everything. And yet, looking at the world around me, I couldn't understand how one God could manage everything on their own. I always believed in multiple gods, even when I was being raised a Roman Catholic. So I've really always had pagan beliefs, even before I knew there was a name for
Like pagan, like being really connected to nature and
them. And, multiple deities,
Yeah, multiple
like
gods and
the
goddesses.
old pantheon. Because if you think about it, religion was created by man to explain things that they couldn't explain.
Makes sense.
Well, that's what it was. That's why all of the old pantheons have multiple deities that govern over different things
Yeah,
that they couldn't explain because they didn't have the science to do so.
yeah.
did you ever feel like you were being like called by a deity or something? Either of you?
On my original path, yes.
Huh.
I was called to an Egyptian path. I was my primary god and goddess were Isis and Osiris. But I fell off my path a long time ago and I'm still trying to find a new one.
Mm.
Yep.
How about you?
Sure. Um, I'm still finding my path too, you could say.
My little Viking.
Yeah, I feel a immense connection to Norse and everything, hence the tattoo.
Yeah. Isn't it just so sucky that the Norse gods are like so off, a lot of them have been like co-opted by like far right winger disgusting heads.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd feel a connection to ancient Egypt too, though. So I'd be like a eclectic, I guess that's the right word, practitioner.
hmm. Do you feel like something's missing? Like I really wish I had my path, or are you feeling comfortable and like I'm on my way to discovering my path?
I'm comfortable with how I'm discovering it.
How about you, Abby?
I'm still okay. The way that I've always been is I consider myself a heart witch. I follow my heart. If something I learn or hear feels right, then it ends up as a part of my belief structure
Yep.
I think it's so.
because
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I believe you should follow your heart in all you do.
Yeah,
And like I said, religion and spirituality is a very personal thing.
yeah,
It's what you make it, it's what you believe, not what somebody else tells you to.
yeah. It's like people are getting fed interpretations of things as much truth as anything else. Like this is you made this up. Somebody else made this up and then you added it to your toolbox.
Pretty
Like
much.
like the whole rapture thing. Were you
Yeah.
ever scared of that when you were a kid?
Oh yeah. I had many nightmares about that.
Like, did you know that that thing wasn't even that's nowhere in the Bible the way it's like was taught to us, and it was based on a dream that an Irish girl had in the 1800s.
It's not even a part of Catholic of Catholicism.
Like Catholicism has the second coming, but right, but you never had
Yeah,
any of
but
this
we don't have
rapture.
the rapture.
Yeah, none of that nonsense. And then like there was this big religious tent revival thing happening, and this con man brought it from Europe over to America, and now it's like as sacred as anything else.
Yeah, of course it is. Really.
Yeah. There's a I don't know if I have my book, but there's a really good book that this the guy and I've had him on my podcast to talk about it, and another one, Unraptured, about how the theology of it got so messed up and widespread, and how hard it was for
I
him
haven't
because
watched it either.
he was a huge end times fanatic, and then to be challenged about it in college and be really upset at his professor, and and then to finally learn about it and see like wow, this was never real. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your spiritual journey? Like what do you do when you're feeling like I want to tap into something beyond myself? What do you do?
I read my books.
Which books are you reading?
He's reading like four of them at once.
Are they all witchy books?
Not at the moment, because I guess got a bunch of other books. But I'm gonna. I have a bunch. I have like 12 books in my witchcraft folder
Mm.
that I gotta read.
It's like,
That like Irish witchcraft and um book like books of just magic. You
it's
know.
like the whole witchy world aesthetic. It's just as commercialized and fake in a lot of ways as Christianity or any of the others. It's like you have to use a red ribbon around this kind of twig that costs $12 imported from Spain.
Yeah.
And if you don't
Some
use the
say it's
right
again
crystals,
commercialized.
if you don't use the right crystals, you're not doing it right. And it's all this gatekeeping and all this, well, if you're not born it, you're not it, and you shouldn't even try. And
Yeah. Those people aren't on the right path to say that.
yeah. I mean, that's the truth, isn't it? That everybody's just on their path and it isn't one path isn't better than the other or more legitimate. It is just what people are walking.
Yeah, like Abby said, you gotta follow your heart.
Yeah. Even the maggots, that's their path.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say?
She's like, yeah.
No, but before that, after when you started giggling after I said maggot,
I don't know. I just looked at Abby and I was like, and she was like, yep.
it's really hard to just release it though. It's you don't want to go from one extreme to the other of just now I'm on this side and everybody else is stupid. Now I'm on the other side and everyone is stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's the dualism that gets us into so many of the messes.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. What is it? What would you like to say to people that are on a spiritual journey and don't know what's right for them?
I'm sleep deprived, so I can't think very straight sometimes. But
That's okay.
with me, I like to study and study and study. It's like you want to learn, and if you learn enough, then sometimes you can find your path the right way. You know.
Yeah.
So get books and join discussion boards and stuff, and
Yeah.
actually open up your heart and learn.
Yeah. That's good. That's good advice. Like if you're interested in it, learn about it. It's not like
Yeah,
you have to say, okay, this is who I am now. You don't have
yeah,
to decide. You can just learn.
yeah. And you don't have to be what your parents want you to be,
Yeah.
or anybody else for that matter.
Yeah, you get to choose. Did you
Yes.
want to add anything to that, Avi? Disembodied voice of Avi?
No, I think I said everything I need to say.
Yes.
Oh, I think my intuition, I didn't make that up, is telling me that you guys need to sleep. My
I
third
hope I
eye
can.
is
That.
my third eye is tingling with the knowledge that you need sleep.
She's not
No,
sleepy. I'm the
I'm
one that
not.
wants to sleep but
I've been
can't.
awake since 3:30 yesterday afternoon.
Oh my goodness.
I even took my bedtime meds.
Yeah, we both took our bedtime meds and we just couldn't sleep. And I couldn't sleep because I had electric impulses just shooting through my body all over the place.
Oh man.
Every time I try to sleep. When I'm concentrating on something else, I'm fine. But like when I lay down and I close my eyes, it's like my brain is sending signals all over my body just to jerk, and I have to move my arm to get it to stop jerking.
Oof.
It's like restless legs on crack.
Oh. Well, I really hope your body is going to chill out so that you can get the rest you need.
Yeah, me too.
Hmm. Well, thank you to the people listening to these rambles about our spiritual journeys. I didn't really talk too much about mine, but I can just add quickly that I think it's really cool when people aren't afraid to reclaim the word witch and just regardless of all the terrible things that have been added to it by the patriarchy, I might add. Um, it's like connecting to nature. It can mean a lot of things. It's not hexes and curses for everybody.
Yeah,
Should
From what
be
I've
if
picked
you're an
up.
actual witch.
yeah, that's true.
Sorry?
Because everything with witchcraft is intent. And, you know, good
Yeah.
old karma. What you put
What
out
do you put
comes
on back
back
to
to
you
you.
threefold or something?
Yeah. Rule of three. Anything you put out into the universe comes back to you threefold.
But if it's literally wanting to have a peaceful home and having intention of stirring your coffee or tea a different direction and saying I want a peaceful home, like it's not all hoogity 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 explosions, fireworks.
No,
Nope.
not like that.
Yeah. That's from what I've picked up. I feel like, oh my gosh, that looks like so much work. Any of that, and every religion, every spiritual practice just sounds like way too much work for me. My religion is I'm tired.
Yes, I found my path. It's called Z's.
Hey, casting a spell or creating a potion can be, as easy as making a pot of homemade chicken soup.
Mm. Well, I will let
Actually, I was referring to Kimmy's chicken soup.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think that I will let you go since you can rest. I have decided my intention is that your body will be chill so you can sleep.
I hope so. I really hope so. Explosions.
I can add some effects on here. So if you like
Yay.
do some stuff with your fingers and I'll add some effects.
Nice.
You're gonna laugh so hard when you see this. All right. Love you.
Love you.
Hugs.
Love you.
Hugs from me and Abby.
I did want to say that if there's any aspect of our story that you'd like to hear more about, you can leave a comment and we are happy to talk about things. I realize as I'm editing these that I'm not including myself as much in the conversation as maybe I should, considering it is a brother and a sister, and I am the sister. So I want to work on that. Actually, I'm just so used to, on my other podcast, the Epic Kate podcast, making it more about the other people and diving into their stories. Usually we end conversations kind of talking more to the audience, saying that, our story, we're sharing our story because it matters and your story matters too, and putting your story out there with the purpose, with the intent of putting healing and solidarity and love and compassion out there matters. So we want to encourage other people to tell theirs. If you would like to support the work of this channel, there is a PayPal for Avi. Yeah, they've got a lot of medical things to work out, and my brother is just seriously in a lot of pain and not knowing what is wrong, and it's just so frustrating for him. So, yeah, if you feel so led to support them, the way to do that is below. Feel free to check out any other episodes on this YouTube channel where I upload the Brother and Sister podcast. I also upload the Epic Kate podcast. And I have lots of awesome conversations of people's spiritual, enlightenments and experiences and how they're changing the world, and just things that people can kind of learn compassion and perspective from. And just anybody that seems like interesting, that I just feel like a pull to talk to, I reach out to them, and sometimes they get back to me. And sometimes I just feel like having chats with friends that I know have a lot of good stuff in their minds to share. So, yeah, I also have a vlog, Epic Kate, and it's got a lot of fun stuff over there too, poetry and memories and, yeah, my weird self. So feel free to check that out. Thank you so much. Hugs! Bye!